What's up everyone, Lion Roar here, and we have a very interesting and very cool looking brand new legendary hero in Gemstone Legends. It is Balfour, and I am particularly excited to do a breakdown and summons for this one. But first, download Gemstone Legends, a mobile RPG puzzle match game. Use the link in the description to start with free stuff, including a bonus hero. Alright, so Balfour is a legendary green hero, and there are a few base stats that really jump out at me here. Let's start with the HP and the defense, which is very good, and that's going to come in handy with the particular special that I'm going to get to in a moment. But look at that speed too. That is 210, very high for regular legendary coming out. A lot of times Stellar Dynasty heroes have a lot of speed, and he's up there. So that's really good, and when you're trying to put together a team that is going to be able to take its turns sooner. Remember, speed is the name of this game, both in taking turns and being able to set off specials. But his speed stat is not the only thing that's high. Look at that mana gain at 24. That means if you put one set of caster equipment on this and get it to 25, then you only have to match 4 tiles in order to set his special off. So what is that special, you might ask? Well, first of all, he is an HP leader in the arena, just heads up. And that increased the HP of all allies in the arena by 44%. I usually go with the speed leaders, but that potentially plays into his special too. Here it is. Okay, Whispers of Power. Deals damage to a single enemy at 30% of caster's current HP, which can be enormous in the right build. Like, I think you are going to be prioritizing equipment that increases HP in this one, because not only does it help with the defense of like keeping your hero alive, but you're dealing damage with it here too. And so you are incentivized to get this HP as high as you possibly can. And just without reading any more of the specials, this is one of the probably best pure snipers that I've seen them release in this game. So I've talked before about how there are 2 main strategies on offense. There's like a nuke team you can put together where you really go pure AoE and try and delete the whole opposing team all at once. Or you can be a little more surgical, if you will, and go for one hero on the opposing side at a time. Really just knock out the biggest threat first, the second biggest threat next. And oftentimes both strategies are very viable. And this guy goes in the very surgical, technical, one at a time. So if you like to have that kind of control over what's going on, then right off the bat, without any other text, this guy's going to be good. But let's read the rest of the text because there's a lot here. Inflict silence on a single enemy for 3 turns. Again, speed is the name of the game. You are either increasing your speed or you're slowing your enemy down, and that's a way to slow the enemy down. They can't cast their specials. If you're casting your specials, you're probably going to win. Grants Fortify to all allies for 2 turns. This is going to be really important again in keeping his HP as high as possible so that he's able to dish out as much damage as possible. And then grants Protective Shield based on 20% of target's max HP to all allies for 3 turns. Again, another thing that's helping to keep his HP as high as possible. In addition to what he's doing himself, like he's a complete package here, just in this active special. But you're going to want to be doing other things when you build your team with him that are going to also allow his HP to be as high as possible. Perhaps some kind of like HP boosts. Perhaps you want to have Taunt out there. You want to have things that are going to keep damage away from him. Soul Link, stuff like that. Keep damage away from him. Keep his HP as high as possible so that he can come in and just really, really take out an opponent. Okay, Hot Blooded is the passive. At the start of every ally's turn, he reduces the remaining number of turns of the freeze status affecting allies by 1. And this is going to be super useful, but it's not going to come up super often unless you happen to face opponents that have freeze, of course. The problem with it on defense is people are going to just probably not bring their freeze heroes if they have a choice against him, if they're thinking about it. Now, this game is so complex at this point, people might just not be thinking about it. But also, whenever you're going on offense, if you have a heads up, you can think to take this guy against anybody that has freeze stats to try and nullify it a little bit. As long as he's above 60% HP, his defense is increased by 25%. So again, another incentive to keep that HP high, like have it high and then keep it high. And then immune to freeze and decreased defense. I think, again, being immune to freeze, being able to clear freeze is extremely important in those matchups. I just don't think it's going to come up a ton. But decreased defense, immunity to that, that's going to come up a lot more. There's a lot of heroes in the game that do decrease defense. And so being immune to that is another thing that, again, keeps that HP high. And of course, if you max out the skill, then you get up to mana gain increased by 1. Well, that changes things on the base stat page too, just saying. Okay, all right, what do I think about this guy? Well, I think, first of all, he's extremely flexible. He can be used on offense. He can be used on defense. I do think he's going to be better on offense, where you get to make the choices, like who you're going to target and things like that. But he is going to be a powerhouse as far as HP goes. He's going to be hard to kill, and he's going to be a killer. So if you have been looking for a good sniper in Gemstone Legends, now is your chance, because he currently is boosted. I am totally going to be summoning for him. I do have a lot of scrolls, and I really hope I get him. I'm gonna maybe use like half my scrolls here. So maybe like 80 or 90 scrolls, something like that. 85 perhaps might be a good number to use. We'll see here. And I got some platinum scrolls as well. So yeah, let's go for it. Without further ado, let's summon. And I'm going to go through these quick. Obviously, I'm doing a lot of summons, so I'm not going to be reading all the heroes that pop up. But if I see an interesting epic or, of course, legendary that we haven't covered, I'm going to do that. All right. Who do we get first? All right. Azul, somebody who I have covered before. I'm going to keep going. All right, and I want to know in the comments what you think about our new hero, Balfour. Where do you think he's going to be used best? How are you planning to use him if you get him? And of course, let me know if you get him. Nizette. I haven't actually covered Nizette before. Nizette deals damage to a single enemy, 350% of attack, and ignore 25% defense. The target's defense is higher than 3,000. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, you can read that on the screen if you want to. I'm just going to skip ahead. That didn't jump out at me as being like super interesting. Sorry, there was some dust on my screen. But we're already up to another epic or legendary. Cross my fingers. Another epic, and this is one I've covered before. Continuing on. All right. We got another. I'm really hoping. I'm going like, I might even do more than 85 scrolls. We'll see. I'll do like 2 platinums after I get to 85, and then I'm going to decide if I want to keep going with the gold scrolls. It really depends if I get him or not. I really want him. I think he's going to be awesome. Okay. I love that now they fill the inbox because I run out of space so easily. And we got Twilis. Now that I have filled up my roster, I am really hoping I get him so I can unload all of these and feeding him. I've really maxed out most of the heroes I have, so like I'm really hoping I have somewhere to dump these. Feed them away. Percival. God knows I have enough Percival. Ooh. Oh! Now I have to go to get my guaranteed hero, right? Did you see that? The mercy system has popped up. So Yeah. Let's go towards the 250. We'll see if we get him at the 250, and then I'll move to the Platinum Scrolls. So my plan has changed. I love this Mercy system, by the way, because sometimes these games, it can feel so bad when you don't get a hero within the frame that you should be. The odds are just against you. Smart thinking by Gemstone Legends to do that. Interesting. Emra. Alright, let's look at Emra. Gains increased defense for 2 turns, gains taunt for 2 turns. And each time she's attacked with Gemstone, she restores 4% mana. Immune to mana choke. Very cool. Kind of a simple text, but that does not necessarily mean bad. Sometimes the simplest text is the best heroes. And we get Daphne. Okay, keep going, keep going. And this time it's Bao. I've covered Bao before. Alright. We got about 20 more to go here, and then I'll switch to Platinum. I want to see what my guaranteed legendary is going to be. Is it always the one that you pick? That's actually something I don't know. Is it always the one that you pick? Or is it never the one that you pick? Alright. 4, 3, 2. We got something here. All right, Gamal, and he's great. He's great, but I have plenty of him, so I'm gonna keep going. And here's the guaranteed legendary, everybody. Drum rolls, please. Who are we going to get? And it is not the one that I picked. It's Omura. Fantastic. Grants reflect all allies for 3 turns. Inflicts decreased defense on all enemies for a turn and deals damage to all enemies 165% of defense. So another hero where you're really incentivized to build up the defensive stats to deal the damage. And I love heroes like that, by the way. Enemies from the Stellar Dynasty faction have their gained mana reduced by 2.5% from all sources for every 900 defense she has. Gains increased defense at the start of her turn for 2 turns, immune to soul corruption. So she is a Stellar Dynasty hate hero. Okay, but I did not go and get BALFOR yet, so I am going to, might even use 3 Platinum Scrolls here. Let's see. So that was kind of a, I actually haven't done a whole lot of testing with the Mercy system yet. And so I wasn't sure if it was definitely going to give me Arendelle, who I've chosen, who's on my wish list. And it did not. So I feel like once before I had the Mercy system where I got the hero I had there. So that's why I was like unsure about that. But let me know in the comments if you know exactly how that works. Here's our first Platinum Scroll. And it is Niven. Boring. Next one up. Interesting. Emra again. Okay. Last one. I always like to save at least a couple scrolls for the next summons. You just never know. Gemstone Legends comes out with such good heroes. Oh, we just totally whiffed today. It's Vigmar. Oh. Well, I mean, I did get a legendary hero, so I'm not going completely empty-handed, and it is a Stellar Dynasty hate hero to kind of counteract the Stellar Dynasty meta. So that is interesting. And at least I have a hero to dump some of all the fodder that I got into today. I want to know how your luck was. Please let me know in the comments. If you enjoy videos like this, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification, and I will catch you in the next one.